Hi, how are you, Caroline?
Hi, Ali. I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you very much. Thank you for attending our live chat program.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're more than welcome. How is weather in Manchester now?
Today it's good. Yeah, we had a couple of days of rain earlier in the week, but it's back to being pretty sunny, so it's definitely helping keep the mood high in lockdown.
Oh, okay, excellent. So you're at home, I assume. You are working
I am
from
at home.
home. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, we too. Okay, let's start to talk a little bit about university. Could you please tell us about the Manchester University? When was established? Where is the location? How many students do you have? UK, international, undergraduate, postgraduate, general information. Could you tell us, please?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of our history, we can trace our roots all the way back to 1824. We were initially founded as a medical school owned by doctors, and then
Hmm.
later as England's first civic university. And
Hmm.
then in 2004, two different universities in Manchester merged to become the present day format of the University of Manchester. And we're also part of the influential Russell Group, which is a leading group of universities focused on research and education.
I see. How many students do you have?
So we're a really big university actually. We have over 40,000 students, of which around about 11,000 are international. So more than 25% of our students are from, all different countries around the world. We have about 160 different nationalities represented on campus. In terms of the student body, we're around about 50% undergraduates, around about 40% of master's students, and then 10% of research students as well.
Research. Excellent. Location-wise is north of the UK, I assume, and there is a direct flight from Turkish Istanbul Airport. New name is Istanbul Airport.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
okay.
So we are based right in the middle of the country, basically. So a
Mhm.
perfect base to explore as an international student. And the university itself is a campus university, so the main campus is located just a short distance from the city centre walking.
Excellent. What can our postgraduate and undergraduate students study at Manchester University, like political law, and what are other subjects?
Yeah, so we definitely teach all of those subjects. Because we are such a big university, it's sometimes easier for us to say what we don't teach. So
Mhm.
we don't teach maybe some of the more vocational subjects. Examples
Mhm.
there would be something like sports science or journalism, but we do have three really large faculties. So we've got, first of all, the Faculty of Humanities, which includes
Mhm.
our business school. We've got a Faculty of Science and Engineering, and we've got a Faculty of Biology, Medicine and Health as well. So most subjects are covered at Manchester. There's quite a broad range of choice.
Excellent. What about the placement option? Do you have placement options with your subjects?
Yeah, a lot of our courses have placement options. So you can either apply for those where they exist directly via UCAS. So if you know that you definitely want to do a placement, you can apply for that straight away. But for some
Mhm.
of the courses, you can apply for the 3-year course and then transfer onto a placement option at a later stage. And if the course doesn't involve a placement for whatever reason, it might involve a period of study abroad, and you can go to one of the top universities in lots of different locations. Or you could also do a shorter work experience placement or a shorter period of study abroad as well. So heaps of choice at Manchester.
A lot of choices. Okay. Would you like to talk a little bit about professional qualification, accreditation, and the ranking? And you said Russell Group University. What does it mean being a Russell Group University?
Okay, so being a Russell Group university means that we are a research intensive university. So, as well as doing teaching of undergraduate and master's students, we have a lot of research projects running in parallel, and that often informs our teaching. In terms of the um, the reputation and the rankings, we are in the QS World Ranking 27th in the world at the moment and 6th in the UK, and in another influential ranking, which is called the Academic Ranking of World Universities, we're 33rd in the world, 8th in Europe, and 6th in the UK.
Excellent, excellent. What about the qualification and
Ah,
accreditation?
yes. Sorry, yeah. So a lot of our courses are professionally accredited. So many of our engineering courses, for example, are accredited by the relevant professional body. So if you plan to go on and pursue chartership in the future, that can be an important factor in choosing your course. And we also have some other accredited courses. An example there would be our Flying Start program, which is run in collaboration with PwC and the Chartered Institute of Accountants. So if you're interested in an accountancy and finance degree, that course would offer you 3 different placements with PwC, and also you would do some of your professional exams while you were still a student.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, we know entry requirements is different from subject to subject, department to department, but could you give a little bit us information about entry requirements for undergraduate and the postgraduate? And also, plus, Manchester is very popular, very well known with the architecture. So maybe you would like to talk a little bit portfolio.
Okay, yeah, sure. So for our undergraduate courses, you're right, it does depend on what you're interested in studying, what school you're coming from in Turkey. Some of the courses and the schools, we do consider Turkish students for direct entry. So for example, in your high school scores, we'd be looking for 4+. If you are thinking about a foundation year as an example, there's 2 different options. So you could either go for a University of Manchester foundation year where that's offered, and we would be looking for scores of 75%+. And if not, if we don't have a foundation year in your subject, or you want to go through one of our partners, they typically look for 65%+. And for master's students, we are generally looking for scores of equivalent to 65% or better. In terms of architecture, it's one of our really popular courses at Manchester. We run it with our neighbour university, which is the Manchester Metropolitan University, which makes the Manchester School of Architecture, which is really well ranked in the UK. In terms of the application process, at the beginning, it's very much the same as any other subject, so you still apply through UCAS. But when we review your application, if we're interested in taking your application further, then we will ask you for a portfolio. So we'll write to you and ask you for maybe some examples of your work, and that might be an artistic drawing, it might be some examples of photography. We might also ask you for some written work, it may be explaining your motivation for pursuing architecture, some of the architects who've influenced you. So that would be the next stage in the application process for us. If we do invite you to submit a portfolio, we'll give you a deadline to submit all of that by, and you can find full details of that on our website as well. So we give a little bit more detail of what the portfolio would involve there too.
Excellent. So you require portfolio once student application reviewed. If student academically acceptable, then you require the portfolio, not
That's
together.
Right. So so we look at your predicted grades first, and we look at your personal statement, which are the 2 kind of standard parts of the UCAS process, along with your reference, and then from there we will select who we want to see the portfolio from.
Okay, there is no any interview with this architecture.
No, not normally for architecture.
No, okay, excellent. What about the fees, undergraduate, postgraduate fees? Could you a little bit tell us about this?
Yeah, so at Manchester, it's another it depends answer, and it depends on what you're studying. Yeah. So for non-laboratory based degrees, so for example, in our Faculty of Humanities, you would be typically looking at a fee of around about £19,000 for international students. And for our non-laboratory based foundation years as well, which Manchester offers. If you were looking at a laboratory based degree or one of the more kind of practical science degrees, the fees would be £24,000 per year, both for the direct entry and also for the foundation years. And then if you were interested in one of our degrees with clinical experience, so medicine or dentistry, the clinical years are charged at £44,000 per year. If you are interested in one of our master's courses in our business school, then the fees go from kind of similar levels right up to about £30,000 for our prestigious courses.
And what is your limit for international students for medicine? Do you have an idea? Is it in your...
Yeah, we do. So with medicine, as you may already know, and as your viewers may already know, there is a quota imposed by the government, which is obviously not something that the university controls. We normally offer around about 28 places for medicine for
28.
international students.
Yeah, excellent. Do you have any Turkish student in medicine?
In medicine, I'm not sure. I know that we do
Yeah.
have some biological sciences students, so they are
Yeah.
part of our Faculty of Biology, Medicine and Health as well. I imagine that we will, or we certainly
I
will
hope
have had
so.
in the past.
May-
Yeah.
Excellent. Maybe we can place this year one of our students to
Yeah, if you're
Manchester.
interested,
Yeah.
then think about applying in future years for sure. The other thing, obviously, to mention about medicine, if students are interested in, is the early deadline, and it would be really important to do all your research really well in advance and then make sure that you get in your application on time, because for medicine, it's not possible to consider late applications.
Yeah, which is 15th of October is
That's
the
right.
deadline. Yeah, excellent. What about the scholarship? After the tuition fees, we need to know about the scholarship.
Yes, so that is obviously a really important part of the student experience as well, and thinking about where you want to study and what you want to study. So at Manchester, we have a partial scholarship model, and it's normally based on academic excellence. So if your course does offer a scholarship, it will be listed on the course profile page on our website. And we also have a dedicated funding page for both undergraduate students and master's students and PhDs as well. So if that is something that you're interested in applying for a scholarship, then you can check it out online. Some of the scholarships that we offer, you are automatically considered for, so you don't need to apply for them. Whereas others, you do need to send in some kind of application, normally a written application, and make sure that you meet all the criteria for that.
Excellent. What about the accommodation? I mean, what type of accommodation do you have? Is it close to university? And the price, obviously. What are the price range?
Sure. So we have over 8,000 university managed bedrooms at the University of Manchester. And as an international student, provided that you apply before the deadline, we will guarantee you a room in university managed accommodation. All of the accommodation is single occupancy, so you won't be sharing any bedroom at Manchester. And it's all either within walking distance of the campus and the city centre, or it's a short bus ride away. In terms of facilities, you can either choose ensuite bedroom, which is obviously a really popular option, and also shared facilities, and you can also choose catered halls, so meal plan is provided, or self-catering as well. And you can choose to either live only with undergraduate students if you're an undergraduate, or only masters if you're doing a masters, or a mix of both. And then to do with the price range, typically it's between around about £110 per week and £160 per week. So fairly standard outside of London.
Yeah, it's a very much reasonable comparing the other universities, very much reasonable, and considering Manchester one of the biggest city after London, yeah, it's very, very nice.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the virtual open days? Do you have virtual open days for the students, for offer holders, or for who is thinking to study 2021 and or 22?
Yeah, so we are really excited about our very first virtual open week, which is taking place from the 15th to the 19th of June. So if you are interested in study for 2021 predominantly, then we definitely recommend registering for that, and you can register now on our website. It may also be suitable for current offer holders, but we also have some dedicated activities for offer holders, people who've already applied and received their offer from Manchester. So we would contact you directly via our academic department for those opportunities. We also run a suite of webinars throughout the year, and you can either sign up to those live, or if the timings don't suit you, then you can watch them on demand as well. And those are on a range of topics. Things like student life at Manchester, things like accommodation, finance and funding. So we've got a wide range of topics, but we definitely like lots of Turkish students to sign up for our virtual open week, which, like I say, is from the 15th and the 19th of June.
Excellent. Arkadaşlar, Manchester Üniversitesi'ni düşünenler için 15 ile 19 Haziran arasında kayıt yaptırırsanız görsel gezi diyelim, Virtual Open Days dedikleri şeye katılabilirsiniz. 15-19 arası. Offer holder'lara ayrıyeten gelecek. Onlar da katılabilir ama onlara ayrıyeten e-mail gönderecekler daha detaylı bilgi için. Sorry, I was talking in Turkish, explaining to
Yes.
students what they can do. Okay, excellent. We are running very fast, actually.
Yeah, sorry, I'm
Okay.
speaking really quickly.
No, great, but very well understandable. No problem at all. Okay, what about one student has got one student arrived in there? What option do they have, like club, social activities, sport activities, part-time work opportunities? Could you a little bit tell us about this?
Yeah, of course. So similarly to being one of the largest universities in the UK, we also have one of the largest student unions in the UK, and we have over 400 different clubs and societies. So most interests and hobbies are already catered for. And if you don't find the society or the sports club that you are interested in when you get here, then we'd really encourage you to set it up. Our students' union is really, really open, very active. So if there's something that you would like to see at Manchester, then definitely get involved. We have lots and lots of different sports clubs and societies. So everything from subject-based societies through to faith and hobbies. And then on the sports side of things, most of the sort of standard sports are catered for, and we even have a Quidditch club at Manchester. So again, lots of choice. In terms of the facilities, we have really, really great facilities for sport at Manchester. It's definitely a big part of student life for us. We've got the Manchester Aquatic Centre, which is where some of Team GB did their training in the run up to the London Olympics. So really high quality facilities, and not just limited to aquatic sports, also really big gym there, some kind of squash courts and fitness classes and things like that. And then in and around the student halls as well, we have access to sports facilities. So, for example, all-weather pitches, where you can kind of play in the evenings and in the winter, sports like football and other kind of field-based sports, things like hockey, etc.
So a student has got a lot of opportunity
Yeah,
for
and
social
obviously we're home
events.
to
Yeah.
some fairly famous football teams as well. So in the city itself, sport is really big too.
Yeah, excellent, excellent. Could you please a little bit tell us about the career service? How do you help the students and job opportunities? What about your employability rates, for instance?
Yeah, so we have a really active career service, which is really, really well regarded. So you can access that from the very first day that you arrive at Manchester, all the way through your studies, and even up to 2 years after you graduate. So they can definitely help you with things like part-time jobs alongside our Students' Union while you're studying, but we can also help you with things like internships. And then once you're in the latter stages of your degree, we can help you with things like a graduate job as well. So that might be something like a practice interview or reviewing your CV, or you could come along to one of our skills sessions, maybe something like presentation skills. And we also run some really big careers fairs throughout the year as well. So some subject-specific careers fairs, things like business, law, IT, biosciences, engineering, and also some generalist fairs that are open to anyone who's interested. And in terms of employability stats, around about 94% of our graduates are either in work or further study within 6 months of graduation.
Excellent. Just I want to talk in Turkish this one because it's important information. Sevgili katılımcılar, Karol'ün söylediği çok önemli, ciddi bir konu. Manchester Üniversitesi mezunları ilk 6 ay içinde mezunların %94'ü, yanlış hatırlamıyorsam 94'ü dedi. Yani her 100 öğrenciden 94 tanesi ilk 6 ay içinde ya iş buluyorlar veya bir üst master degree gibi bir üst seviyeye geçerek eğitimlerine devam ediyorlar. Bu çok ciddi bir rakam. Yani 6 ay içinde üniversite mezunları iş bulabiliyor. Bu da üniversitenin kalitesini, orada okuyan öğrencilerin piyasada nasıl algılandığını çok net olarak gösteriyor. Excellent. Let's talk a little bit, just give small information about the part-time job opportunities, because in UK, if students studies at university, they have a part-time opportunity, and at the end of their education, they have 2 years work opportunity. Could you a little bit tell us this one?
Yeah, so that's another really common part of the student experience. We understand that quite often it's really important to have a part-time job to help balance the sort of financial side of things with studying. If you are on a Tier 4 visa as a student, you are obviously limited to the amount of work that you can do per week during term time. But there's lots of help, like I say, to find a part-time job at Manchester, either through our careers service or through our nice colleagues in the Students' Union. They can both help. We also do have some jobs on campus, so you can work for the university. That might be something like doing campus tours during term time or helping at one of our open days. Equally, we have several different restaurants and cafes on site, which require staff. And then in the city itself, there's loads of different opportunities as well. What we do always say to students is that it's really important to balance the studying side of things with the financial side of things. Apart from the visa regulations, it's really important to allow enough time to dedicate to your studies. So what we generally say is treat studying as if it was your full-time job.
Yeah.
So as a student, you might have between 12 and 20 hours of contact time a week, but you would probably be doing at least the same again in private study. And then on top of that, you might have your part-time work. So it's just about, allowing that balance, like I say.
Yeah, it's true. Actually, weekly student needs the spare time for their education around 20-25 hours. And the rest of it can be work, part-time work. Yeah, that's true. Okay, because of coronavirus, many universities in UK, they changed their entry requirement for language entry requirement. Like some of them drop their language requirement, some of them they do their own test, some of them they do accept TOEFL, IBT, home-based IBT, and some of them indicator, IELTS indicator. What about the Manchester University?
Yeah, Manchester is similar to quite a lot of the other universities in the UK. We've obviously recognised at a fairly early stage that face-to-face tests are impossible for many different students at the moment. So we're currently accepting 2 different internet-based tests. So we are accepting the TOEFL IBT at-home special edition, like you say, and the scores for that would be the same as the regular IBT test, which is published on our website. And then the other test that we are accepting is something called Language Cert. And the scores there would either be B2 Communicator at a high pass or C1 Expert at a pass, depending on the course that you're interested in. At the moment, we're not accepting IELTS Indicator, but we are certainly accepting those 2. They're widely available, so most students should be able to access one or both of those. And if they can't, then we do have an alternative, which would include a University of Manchester administered test. So we have several options.
How do you do that, University of Manchester administrative test?
So there's one part which is a third-party test, and then we would also have a test which would be issued by our language centre at the university and then marked by them as well.
Okay, excellent. Okay, we are coming to the end of our conversation. Should student worry about starting in September 2020? Do you have any A plan, B plan at university? Is it actually early stage, but do you have any plans?
Yeah, definitely. We've got plans A, B, C, and so on and so on. So yeah, we're very much kind of trying to prepare for all eventualities. It's really, really normal to be worried about that kind of thing at the moment. It's perfectly understandable as a student. It's completely unprecedented, as to use the word that many people are using at the moment. And we just want to kind of try and reassure students that we will do our absolute best to make sure that they're not disadvantaged by this situation. We have also recently made an announcement about our start of year to all of our existing offer holders, and we've also published this on our website. So we've taken the decision to offer all lectures online. So those large group teaching opportunities will all be delivered online, but the smaller face-to-face teaching, things like tutorials or laboratories, they will still take place face-to-face. So the plan would be to have students in Manchester for both semester 1 and semester 2. But what we will also do is kind of alter the start times for our new students and our existing students, and also our undergraduates and our master's students, to try and kind of manage the process as best we can.
Excellent. Okay, my final question is, do you have any advice to students about offer holders or who's planning to apply for next year?
Yeah, so my main piece of advice to students is always make sure that you are really well researched and well organized, and also to ask us any questions that you have. So if you are an existing offer holder and you're not too sure about something, or if you're considering applying for 2020 and you have a question, then just let us know. Obviously, students can come through you guys at ATEC, or they can ask us directly if they want to. And then if they are an existing offer holder, then we have a dedicated web page for them, so they can get all the information that they need to know to prepare to come to Manchester. And similarly, if they are thinking about applying, we have really, really good course profiles on our website, which explain obviously all the normal things like entry requirements, English language requirements, but give a lot of detail on the nature of the course itself, even down to the individual modules that you're going to be studying. So you can do a lot of research on our website to check if this course is right for you before you apply.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Caroline. It was lovely to chat with you. It was very well information we get, very much information we get from you. Thank you for attendance, and I hope we get over all these problems, virus problems, and we can do our normal life. We can host you in our office and meet with the student face to face. Again, thank you very much. Stay safe and have a nice day.
You too, Ali. Thanks so much. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.